The premier circuit racing series in the country got underway at Zwartkorps in February. This coming weekend, the Extreme Festival, which is the name of the national championships, hits Cape Town. They'll be crisscrossing the country before a national champion is decided. In the field this year, 6 ex-national saloon car champions, a new category, and the 2 men that now join me in studio, Greg Maloney, who competes in the new X class, and reigning Class T champion Gary Fumato. Welcome to Morning Live.
Great to be here. Thanks for having us.
Okay, Greg, I'm going to start with you. What is Class X? Class
X basically is a class that has been started this year for X-production cars from 2004 upwards. And any cars that have participated in production cars in the past are now allowed to come back and bolster the field that fill in just behind where Gary and all the top drivers all participate and go for wins. So that's what it's all about.
All right. How popular is this class?
Right now we're sitting with about 7 cars, but heading to Cape Town we're looking for about 12 cars because down in Cape Town there's a couple of GTIs and some Audis that have been playing around that haven't really been in production car racing. They've had their own little separate series down there, which is very, very popular. And by the time we get to Cape Town in a few days' time, those guys are looking to step up and come back to national championship racing.
All right. Well, you point to Gary, and you say, well, where the real racing
the real
happens.
Races.
Okay. So tell us how the first race went.
Oh, good. I think the event was good for us. I mean, a lot of reorganising from last year in terms of the category. So I think the day itself was fantastic. For our team, the Ford SMD racing team was a great day. We like second in the championship behind the engine Audis. And it's just great to be there. It's nice that we've got possibly the best 9 drivers. Some that are not, unfortunately not with us at the moment. They're not racing against each other. So it's fantastic racing. The racing was good, and it was a magic day, a huge crowd pleaser.
All right, you mentioned that you guys had to rearrange some of the classes. Is part of that rearrangement putting Class A and T together, and what does that actually mean for people who don't necessarily follow the production car championships?
Well, what we had previously, a lot of the Class T cars, the 2-litre cars were slowed down to make 2 classes, and we decided, well, all the cars are so quick, let's put them all together into one race, and so now we've got everybody racing for an outright victory, which is I'd say fantastic. And there's a bigger picture as well. You know, this also leads up to the new premier category that will be introduced next year into South Africa, which has been the GT Africa Championship. So there's a lot going on right now. So it's great to be part of motorsport right now in South Africa, and great to see where it's come from and how it's building and so quickly as well. So very, very exciting times for us.
You mentioned it's a good time to be involved in motorsport in South Africa. Just last year we had the motorbikes having their very own Super GP. So I suppose one would say, looking from the outside, that it is an exciting time. However, whenever you hear anything from the motor industry, it's that they're struggling. It
is a tough time at the moment in the market, there's no doubt about it. But if you look at the way things are going on in the motorsport industry, it's still not down in the dumps quite yet for motorsport. There's always a little bit of money around and the guys can go and play. I'm involved in both of the series as a commentator, but I get a little bit of commentary out of the series with national production cars in the car itself, which is something quite unique, and I think it's something that no one else is doing in the world right now. So we're trying a little bit of innovation here. That's what's drawing the crowds back, and that's what people want to see. When it comes to the motorcycle side of things, of course, yes, they are struggling a little bit as well. You know, the industry is quite small in South Africa. They don't have the massive amounts of bike sales that they have in the States or anywhere else in the world, like we see at World Superbikes or MotoGP. But because we've got such a small community, we're quite a tight-knit community, and I think Gary will probably echo what I say here in saying that everybody tries to stay together and make it work as best we can.
As a driver, I mean, just how expensive is the sport? Because that's always the big question mark. You know, you say you want to make the sport accessible, and everybody speaks about the money because that seems to be the real barrier to making the sport completely and truly accessible.
It is. I mean, it is an expensive sport, no matter where you are in the world. And I think if you look at it, the case in point is everybody's looking for ways to try and curb the expenses in motorsport. So there's new formulas, new ways of going motor racing, certainly that are coming out to the fore, and we are introducing that now slowly into South Africa as well. Far more sustainable. Well, you've got to have rules and regulations that stop the spending. So in Formula 1, even IndyCar Racing America, you've got rules in place that curb people from going and spending 20 days of the circuit testing, for example. So we're doing much of the same here. And the other opportunity in motorsport, I mean, it's an industry here where the technical expertise gained by people involved, so not only from a driving point of view, but from a technical, mechanical point of view, it's really, there's a lot to be had here. So the industry plays an important role in developing a lot of this young technical expertise that we have in this country that sometimes gets a little bit lost or has been getting lost over the last couple of years, and we need to bring that back and into our game and to nurture that as well. So it's not only really about the driving, there's a far bigger picture that motorsport takes care of as well.
How has the public received the National Production Car Championships?
I think it's been really, really well received, to be honest. If you look at the crowds that arrived for the first round, the crowds that arrived for the second round thinking production cars were going to be there, because there's a little bit of a change up in the way the format works for this year. The Extreme Festival has a national tour and a regional tour, and they all arrived thinking that Gary and the whole teams were going to be back again. Unfortunately, they're not, but we are in Cape Town this weekend, so we're looking forward to seeing another big crowd down there. Each of the areas we go to, you'll see there's certain crowds that are sort of well established in terms of, for instance, Cape Town, East London, Port Elizabeth. They all have big motorsport fraternities and big motorsport fan base, and they always come out no matter who arrives, if it's Super GP or if it's National Production Cars, it doesn't really matter, or the Extreme Festival. But the nice thing about it is they are coming back. And the other cool thing with the Extreme Festival side of things is they're starting to bring the kids back. You know, there's not only the action that happens on track, there's all the stuff that happens around and on the outside. You've got, you know, I don't want to say the beer gardens, but they are beer gardens. There's places for the kids to play. There are activities for the moms to do. You know, there's a whole thing around the family-based activity as opposed to just dad and son heading off to the track to go and watch the racing.
Yeah,
so I think
but
that's important. But you can see the action is good, eh?
Exactly. I mean, you want to see cars going fast.
Of course you
just
do.
how fast do you guys race in your Class A and C?
Well, to put into perspective, I mean, our cars are probably faster than any Porsche or Ferrari, Lamborghini that you see driving around the roads today. Our cars around the racetrack would absolutely annihilate those cars. So the cars are very, very fast.
Give us speeds.
It depends. I mean, 260, 270 k's an hour. But remember, the tracks are short, so it takes if we had a longer track, we could go faster than that, I'm sure. But you know, that's where we're playing around it.
My Mini's a bit quicker than his Ford, though.
Your Mini is quicker. I think he's.
There's a bit of a challenge for
Yeah,
Saturday.
exactly.
Yes, exactly.
He's the commentator. You've got to be nice to him.
challenge.
You see, you try and get to say nice things about you.
Okay, lovely stuff. We wish you all the best of luck with the rest of the national series. It's still early days. You guys are only going for the second round in Cape Town this weekend.
Yeah.
How do people actually find out about this?
Well, basically, you can get onto Facebook. There's a National Production Car site there, and everything that details exactly when the racing starts, etc. Or onto Killarney. Extreme Festival has a Facebook page. I think it's social media is the way we want to go, and it's also the way we're trying to build a fan base too. Because not only do you want the kids and people watching on the sidelines, but you also want them watching via live streaming. We've got a live streaming aspect coming in at a later stage this year. We've also got opportunities for them to win some competitions. And on National Youth Day, we want you and Leanne in the cars to come and do some live crossings to Swartkops.
Wow, okay. And you have to get the director that's actually speaking
I've spoken to him.
in my ear today, because he said to me, while you're busy speaking, he says, you know what, tell them they must make a special class for me because I want to also come and race.
Well, he's a big guy like me, so he'll fit in my car, no problem.
Okay, so the only person that we're missing is Ayanda. I think we've got to get Ayanda also there into the Mini.
Into a car. Yeah,
I think she's got a little bit of a
she's
wild
got a big smile on her
streak
face,
to her.
I think she'll get in there.
She's got a little bit of a wild streak to her. Leanne, I believe you've been in a car already. I believe you've done this thing a couple of times.
Yeah, I have. I've done it. In fact, it was with you.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
You know that. So it's long overdue. In fact, it was my first day on Morning Live, and you know that was 11 years ago.
It's incredible.
So one of my first. I think it was my first week. So 11 years ago, I get shoved into one of these fast Formula One cars and taken around a track, and I was meant to do a link to the camera. That was cruel.
Yeah, you took a bit of strain on that.
I took a lot of strain, not a bit of strain, a lot of strain. But you'll be proud of me. While we were in Abu Dhabi, and I was telling you just before the interview, sorry, I'm leaning over because there's a camera here, so I look very funny, but I'll talk to you in here. We went on one of those. They've got that fastest roller coaster in the world. We're at Ferrari World. Yeah, that goes 240 kilometers an hour. That was crazy. Because, I think you start off and you just, I
think the acceleration is sort of 0 to 100 in about 2 seconds.
That's it.
So it's quite intense.
It's ridiculous. So do you think you can beat that adrenaline I went through there?
I could probably get a top speed better than that, but not the acceleration. But I hope it rains, then I can really give you a thing.
No, that's just cruel. That's just cruel. All right, it's a date. We'll be there.
Looking forward to it.
You organise it. We'll do it.
Okay, so we'll all be there. The whole Morning Live team. It's going to be a fabulous adrenaline-full day. But I think for now, we just got to wish you guys all the best of luck for Cape Town for the next stop of the National Production Car Championships. And thanks for coming into the studio.
Thanks for having us.
All right,
we really appreciate the support. Thank you. Greg
Vermata, as well as Gary Vermata, and Greg Maloney chatting to us about the National Production Car Championships and getting the whole Morning Live team into a car with them. Leanne, it's over to you.